Chloe from Chloe's Library, and today I'm going to read you Franny K. Stein. Mad scientist, the Fran with 4 brains. Okay, so I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 brains. I guess. Okay. I wonder. Chapter 1. Franny's House. The Stein family lived in a pretty house with lovely purple shutters down at the end of Daffodil Street. Everything about the house was bright and cheery, everything. That is, except the upstairs bedroom with a tiny round window. The window looked in on a bedroom where one of the busiest mad scientists on Earth was working away to keep all of her projects and experiments on schedule. She had a colony of bearded slugs that needed to be shaved each morning. She had a giant centipede that needed help with her shoes every day. She had her own breed of soy plant that had to be milked daily. Franny's lab projects were a lot of work, but Franny truly loved mad science, so she never minded putting in the time. Chapter 2. Franny's School. Franny also liked school. Her teacher, Miss Shelley, was great, and she always kept the kids busy with lots of challenging projects. Already that year, they had spent time studying dinosaurs, poetry, and even ancient Egypt, which Franny really enjoyed, even though her extra credit project ate a custodian. Miss Shelley later made Franny unzip the mummy and release the custodian unharmed. Although Franny protested that and said that everyone knows mummies eat people every once in a while and that custodians should know better than to get too close. Great teachers like Miss Shelley always keep a little pressure on, and every day after school, Franny had to make time for her homework. Some days it was easy, like when it was about electricity, ordnance, or strange chemical reactions. Some days it was hard, like when it was not about monsters or atomic radiation or electric brains. But no matter how long it took, Franny also had to make time to play with her lab assistant, Igor. He wasn't a pure lab. He was also part poodle, part chihuahua, part beagle, part spaniel, part shepherd, and part some kind of weasley that wasn't even actually a dog. Franny had learned that not paying enough attention to Igor was dangerous. When he got too lonely, he tended to misbehave. And Igor knew when Franny needed attention. He's really good at sensing when her schedule was getting too tight, and he was always trying to figure out ways to make her laugh. Sometimes it was juggling chainsaws. Sometimes it was alligator wrestling. Sometimes it was wrestling alligator with chainsaws. Recently, he started dressing up like Franny and imitating her, and that would always make Franny laugh so hard she could hardly breathe. Always, that is, except when Franny felt overwhelmed by the eternal load of extra activities. Chapter 3. getting weaker by the week. Franny's mom always drove her to weekly extra activities. One day a week, it was soccer. Another day, it was gourmet cooking. And another day, it was bagpipe lessons. Franny liked the extra activities, but sometimes she felt like they were a bit too much. Some days she was in a mood to just hang around her lab, doing regular kid things, like playing with her toys or reading books or bringing a monster to life through the application of a jillion volts of electricity. But her mom wanted Franny to have the opportunity to be best she could be and try new things and learn about stuff they might not be teaching at school. Franny's mom had told her that it was important to do her best and always strive for excellence. Franny understood her mom was right, and she worked as hard as she could to be excellent, even when it was made her very, very tired. Wound too tight. One day, Franny walked upstairs to her room after a long day at school, followed by bagpipe lessons. She had a lot of homework ahead of her and knew she had forgotten to take care of some of the loud stuff earlier that morning. Her thoughts were scattered. She was thinking about everything all at once. She went over to the centipede's cage and milked it. Then she shaved the soy plant and put shoes on the slugs. She gave a monster a bowl of dog food and was just preparing to run a jillion volts of electricity through Igor before she realized that she had forgotten everything, all mixed up. "Oh, no," she groaned. "It's too much," she said. "That kind of electricity would have fried you like a potato chip, Igor. I'm wound up too tight to think clearly. I have to talk to Mom." Next day, Franny told her mom of the mix-ups in the laboratory. Igor could have been vaporized. The soy plant is mad because it was really trying to grow a mustache. The slugs are after me to make them some feet to go with the new shoes. And who in their right mind is ever going to drink 2 gallons of centipede milk? Mom, I think this all happened because I'm so busy. Do you think it would be okay if I took a break from the bagpipe lessons for a while? But Franny, her mom said, how else will you learn? The bagpipe is a beautiful instrument, and the music teachers use self-control and how to perform with confidence. Okay, Franny said with a sigh. Then how about if you skip the gourmet cooking class? Oh, Franny, her mom said, gourmet cooking teaches you how to follow directions and think about all those extra recipes simulated your imagination. Okay, but how about if I drop soccer? I really don't think I need soccer, do you? Franny's sports teach you about teamwork. You should learn how to sacrifice for others and how to rely on others as well. That's what it means to be part of a team. And since you do so many of your experiments by yourself, you probably need to learn teamwork more than anybody else. You must strive for excellence, Franny. You know that. Franny smiled. A thought had a cure to a mad science type thought. There was something about the word teamwork. Yes, teamwork, she thought. Maybe Mom had something there. Chapter 5. Going out for the team. Franny felt outside and gathered up some scrape steal from her backyard. Igor watched as Franny began sketching out plans for some sort of new machines. They'll need to be durable, Igor. Mom can really keep the pressure on, so these need to be extra strong. Igor, who had no idea what she was talking about, nodding like he knew everything exactly she was talking about. And they need to be smart. I have to make sure the brains are set up to follow instructions carefully. Igor gathered up a skeleton of brains from the brain cabinet and brought them to Franny. Thanks, Igor, but I think I'm going to go with electronic brains on this project. These machines need to look good, but they don't have to be perfect. Mom keeps me moving so quickly that she doesn't always know the details. I remember one time she took me to soccer while I was still under the effect of mermaid formula, and I played for 2 hours and she never noticed that I didn't even have legs. I won't be hard to make them good enough to fool Mom. Franny quickly made a few calculations and diagrammed some of the special features, and she would need to engineer them. She whisks the plan off her drawing board and tacked them up on the wall. She turned to Igor and grinned her mad scientist grin. Outside, lightning cracked, and Franny laughed. She loved it when lightning cracked just before she revealed the plan. Igor, she said, behold the Frambots. Franny hummed cheerfully as she made 3 mechanical copies of herself. She thought this plan through carefully and was certain it was the answer to all of her problems. Pretty clever, don't you think so, Igor? She said as Igor watched with a growing concern. He had learned that one Franny was already a lot of Franny. He wasn't sure if 4 of them was such a good idea. Igor started remembering some of Franny's robots that had caused trouble in the past. These Frambots are going to handle a lot of extra activities that Mom has lined up. They'll take the bagpipes lesson, they'll learn gourmet cooking, and they'll play soccer. They'll do it all for me. Igor wondered if he and Franny could also make a few Igor bots for some of his chores. These machines will give me more time to do my homework and my experiments, and they may even give me some extra time to spend with my your lab assistant. She winked at Igor. That was all Igor needed to hear. Anything that would give him more time with Franny had to be a good idea, and she worked extra hard to help her complete the Frambots quickly. Me, myself, and I, and one more me. Franny tightened on a few screws here and there, and the Frambots were finally complete. She wound them up as tight as she could, as tight as they would go, and with the flip of a few switches, they were fully activated. The Frambots stood quietly, awaiting their instructions. Frambot number 1, Franny began. Your insides were engineered to be particularly good at playing the bagpipe. You will be handling our music lessons. The Frambot thumped its steel chest. Yes, Franny, the robot said in a voice that sounded a lot of things. Frambot number 2, you will be the soccer player. You'll notice that your legs have been designed for extremely powerful kicking. The Frambot flexed its powerful limbs. Yes, Franny, the robot said in a voice that also sounded a lot like Franny's. And Frambot number 3, you will attend a gourmet cooking class. You will be outfitted with a special food ray that will make it easy for you to create various recipes in a flash. The Frambo looked at the food ray blaster he could flip out of his wrist. Yes, Franny, the last Franbot said in a voice that sounded a lot like, you guessed it, Franny's. Mom expects a lot of commitment from all of you. So remember, you must always do your best. You must strive for excellent. That is what is most important here. Excellent. The Frambots beeped as they were talking very careful notes of this instruction. Excellence, they said together and nodded obediently. Okay, I'll read you from chapter 8 next time. So what do you think is gonna happen? What? Anything. Okay, I'll give you my thoughts. I think, well, as much as Igor, I think the Frambots would have got Franny into trouble. Okay, I told you mine, and tell me yours on the